Welcome back to the Wounded Warrior Experience. Due to the rise of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, as a weapon of choice by insurgent fighters in Iraq and in Afghanistan, traumatic brain injuries have joined post-traumatic stress disorder as two of the most prevalent injuries suffered by today's generation of warriors. While not always visible, these injuries have affected thousands of American servicemen and women. And in this segment, we'll focus on these unseen injuries, PTSD and TBI, and how warriors have fought to overcome them. Joining us for this segment, we have Major Jim Nolan. Jim is United States Air Force. Tell me your story, Jim.
I suffer from PTSD. It was sort of a cumulative effect of, for me, basically 6 years of continuous deployments or training for deployments or recovering from deployments. I was in Islamabad, Pakistan, and actually a year ago today was when I finally came back. I had to sit my supervisor down and explain to him that I couldn't keep functioning in that environment and functioning in a military arena and continuing to care for other people's lives as a pilot of an aircraft. Yeah. Because at some point I was not going to be as coherent as I was that day.
Wow. Jeremiah Workman is a former Marine Staff Sergeant, one of the most highly decorated veterans of the Operation Iraqi Freedom, having been awarded the Navy Cross for valor during the Second Battle of Fallujah, correct?
Yes, sir.
2004. Also a spokesman for the veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, a struggle you wrote about in your book, Shadow of the Sword. And Michael Lipari is a former Army Staff Sergeant wounded by an IED in Iraq, leaving him badly wounded, suffering from a traumatic brain injury and PTSD, correct? Jeremiah, tell us about your experience, your story, and what led you to what you did.
Well, I deployed over to Fallujah, Iraq, the second Battle of Fallujah, December 23rd, a couple days before Christmas, 2004. I was a young squad leader, 21 years old. I led 8 Marines into a house that was infested with insurgents, and a 3-hour firefight ensued. And throughout the firefight, I was wounded. I received a Purple Heart, shrapnel, but that was the least of my worries. I think as a leader, when you're making life and death decisions, and it's a split second, and you lose Marines. It hit me later. It was, kind of delayed onset, but, that's kind of how I got to the point I'm at now is, I came home and I just had a hard time accepting the fact that, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas and things like that. But.
And Michael, your story?
United States Army served in Iraq, Battle of Fallujah. Coming home from Iraq was a long journey. It was another battle that I was fighting besides the war in Iraq. Coming home, fighting the war of normalcy. Just wanted to be normal again. I wanted to forget about everything that I had went through and try to live a normal and just forget about everything that went on, I guess.